People are fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to health, and treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to food. Weldon Bury. We are what we eat. How we look, feel, and perform all significantly depends on what we eat and how we choose to eat it. But just as important, or possibly even more important, is what we avoid putting into our bodies. It's effortless to eat poorly in today's convenience is king world. We are surrounded by fast and convenient foods that are engineered to taste incredible. They are designed to be addicting. And though these foods may taste good, they are terrible for our sleep, energy, and health. Knowing what to avoid eating is just as important as knowing what to eat. So let's explore what to eat less of. Today, most people are starving for nutrients because about 70% of our diet consists of processed, artificial, fake foods. Processed foods are made with low-quality ingredients and are loaded with sugar, preservatives, and other chemicals that make them convenient and taste great at the expense of our health. Once, while dining at a healthy restaurant, I saw a sign on the wall that read, "You are what you eat. So don't be fast, cheap, easy, or fake." It made me laugh out loud at first, and then I realized the powerful truth in it. The truth is that big food corporations don't care about our health. Instead, their main goal is to create products that are fast, cheap, and easy, and fake. They produce food that will have a long shelf life and we'll continually buy, and will make them a profit. Processed foods negatively interfere with our sleep. Processed foods contain unnatural chemicals, usually lots of sugar, and create food cravings the next day. Eating processed foods loaded with sugar, which often happens late at night when we're tired or need a distraction, spikes our blood sugar and affects our ability to wind down and prepare our mind and body for sleep. When we consume sugar, it releases feel-good hormones, which make it highly addictive. It's been found that sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Yes, you heard that correctly. I know this from personal experience. Oreos were my drug of choice. Sugar is the #1 energy-draining food on the planet, and it is estimated that the average American consumes up to 150 pounds of sugar per year. That's about half a pound a person per day. Yes, you heard that one correctly too. Half a pound. Despite their research linking sugar to just about every disease, including cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and chronic inflammation, it's tough to avoid because it's hiding in everything, even healthy foods. Without getting too scientific, when you consume sugar, your body has to release a hormone called insulin from your pancreas to shuttle the sugar from your blood to your muscles. The more sugar you have in your blood, the more insulin needs to be secreted to remove the excess amount out of your blood, which leads to what I refer to as the sugar roller coaster. When you go more than a couple hours without sugar after regular consumption, you will notice a drastic fluctuation not only in your energy levels, but possibly even in your mood, feeling an increase in irritability and anxiety. This sugar roller coaster that most of us ride daily creates cravings for more sugar to boost our mood and energy levels, which it does for a short time. The sugar roller coaster is kind of like a roller coaster that never ends. It's fun while we're on it, but eventually it takes a toll on our sleep, energy, and health. When we are sleep deprived, our bodies and brains crave high fat and high sugar foods to lower the stress hormone cortisol. This is why our appetite increases when we get poor sleep. Also, our metabolism begins to slow down because it's trying to conserve the resources that we have in our system. It's a survival mechanism. As I mentioned, a lack of sleep also affects our hunger and full hormones, ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin, the hormone that tells us to eat, actually increases, and leptin, the hormone that tells our bodies that we had enough to eat, decreases. When we're sleep deprived, we have a bigger appetite and burn fewer calories. Not a good combo if you're trying to maintain a healthy weight. Just like coming off a drug, getting off the sugar roller coaster does have some short-term withdrawal symptoms. The following are typical symptoms of sugar withdrawal, which can last a few hours or even days. Feeling lightheaded, extreme sugar cravings, feelings of anxiety, depression, and stress, headaches, nausea, moodiness, fatigue, achiness. There are several things we can do to help reduce our cravings and prevent us from giving in. Whenever cravings do hit, you should first and foremost drink a glass or more of water. Frequently, we feel hungry when we're thirsty. Dehydration can be masked as a craving, causing us to search for something to quench our thirst. Consuming sugar throughout the day has been shown to interfere with deep sleep, resulting in unrefreshing sleep and fatigue the next day. Often sugar cravings kick in when we're tired and fatigued. When we're tired, our willpower is at its lowest and our bodies crave sugar the most, hence the late night sugar cravings. To make things even worse, when you regularly consume sugar, the late night sugar cravings become even stronger. Eating sugary snacks right before bed affects more than just your quality of sleep. It also contributes to weight gain. We started to touch on the dangers of sugar already, but now let's dive deeper into how sugar affects our sleep more specifically. To make sure you're not consuming hidden sugars in your food, begin reading all food labels and look out for sugar. 4 grams of sugar is equal to 1 teaspoon. Try to visualize how much sugar that is when you see something with 10 grams or 30 grams of sugar per serving. Ask yourself, is this food going to give me sustained energy or keep me on the sugar roller coaster? A simple strategy to avoid sugar is to stick to the outside aisles of the grocery store. Just about everything in the middle of the stores is processed, which usually means it contains a significant amount of sugar and preservatives. If you are a recovering sugar addict like I once was, stop buying it and bring it into the house. Just as an alcoholic shouldn't have alcohol in their home, a sugar addict shouldn't bring sugar into it. After you kick the sugar habit, you can slowly reintroduce sugar into your diet outside the house, such as when dining out or on special occasions like anniversaries and birthdays. Wait, doesn't milk build strong bones? Despite what we've been led to believe, that milk does the body good, the truth is we've been deceived. Even though dairy contains a substantial amount of calcium, the phosphorus and acidic nature of dairy impair calcium absorption and utilization in the body. We've also been told to drink a glass of warm milk at night when we're having trouble sleeping since it contains the sleep hormone melatonin and an amino acid tryptophan, which are known substances to help in sleep and relaxation. But a glass of milk before bed can create mucus and inflammation in our bodies, which can bring on snoring due to lactose intolerance that creates mucus and unclear airways. Our bodies just weren't designed to digest milk regularly, especially pasteurized milk. What's really interesting is that the majority of humans naturally stop producing significant amounts of lactase, the enzyme needed to properly metabolize lactose, the sugar in milk, sometime between the ages of 2 and 5. It's normal for most mammals to stop producing the enzymes needed to digest and metabolize milk after being weaned. It's much better for our sleep and health to get calcium, potassium, protein, and fats from other food sources like whole plant foods, vegetables, fruits, beans, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Try this sleep experiment. Experiment with eliminating dairy for 2 weeks and see how it affects your sleep and energy. That means eliminate milk, cheese, yogurt, and ice cream for 2 weeks to feel the difference. You should notice improvements in your sleep, improved mental clarity, digestion, energy, and you most likely will even lose weight. After 2 weeks, try slowly incorporating some dairy back into your diet and see how you feel. If you feel gassy, bloated, mucousy, and sluggish, you should avoid dairy. Many companies now make great tasting natural plant-based dairy alternatives made from nuts. Give them a try. What about coffee and caffeine? Caffeine is the most abused legal drug, which dramatically disturbs our sleep. Even drinking caffeine in the morning or early afternoon could be affecting your sleep because caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 8 hours, depending on how you metabolize it, meaning it's in your system for 12 to 16 hours. Consuming caffeine is kind of like borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. It provides a perceived temporary surge of energy and focus, but where did that energy come from? Without getting too technical, caffeine essentially blocks the receptor sites in the brain that tell us we need to rest. This then causes the activation of the hormone adrenaline to be released, putting us in the fight or flight response, which puts more stress on our adrenal glands, which produce hormones that are vital for life. Caffeine simply masks what's happening inside our bodies and isn't a sustainable energy source. Caffeine also creates physical dependency. It's addictive, and the withdrawal symptoms from caffeine begin within 1 to 2 days after you stop consuming it. Like most drugs, caffeine increases dopamine production, the feel good hormone, thus helping us maintain the dependency, which is consumed daily by 90% of all adults in the US. By relying on caffeine, you are essentially borrowing tomorrow's energy today, which is simply not sustainable. However, I do have some good news for all you coffee lovers reading this. A cup of coffee in the morning isn't going to blow out your adrenals and massively affect your sleep at night. But if you're drinking multiple cups and relying on coffee to get you through the day to be productive and alert, chances are that you have an unhealthy dependency, which is affecting your sleep quality. Maybe you can, or you know someone who can, drink a coffee and then go to sleep. Depending on your genetics, caffeine does affect people differently. That said, most people consume caffeine to increase alertness, which is the opposite of what they need before bed. Throughout the day, we have a neurochemical called adenosine that builds sleep pressure, or the body's hunger for sleep. Caffeine blocks the adenosine receptor sites in the brain. Sleep studies show that caffeine interferes with the restorative deep sleep and REM sleep. As long as we eat a healthy diet, regularly exercise, and get enough quality sleep, we shouldn't need any synthetic or artificial energy to stay focused and productive. Imagine having sustained all-day energy with no dips or jitters. This is what's possible when you increase your sleep quality and reduce caffeine consumption. Try this sleep experiment. If you are currently only drinking 1 coffee per day, and it's just because you love the taste rather than relying on it to function, then awesome. Just try not to drink it past noon. If you are relying on coffee to get you through the day, try replacing your afternoon cup with dandelion coffee, which is a caffeine-free herbal tea made from the root of a dandelion plant that tastes similar to coffee. You can also try replacing coffee with herbal or green tea, which contains much less caffeine than coffee. What about alcohol? Similarly, studies show that alcohol, even though it can make us feel sleepy, actually disturbs our sleep quality. Alcohol makes it harder to fall into the deeper stages of restorative sleep, which is what we are all striving for more of each night. If you measure your sleep, you'll see how even just after one drink, your sleep quality is disturbed. Many people use alcohol to manage stress and take the edge off after a long day. Unfortunately, this habit affects our natural energy edge. But there are way more productive and healthier ways of managing stress outside of consuming alcohol, which we touched on earlier. Now that we know what not to eat and not drink to improve our sleep quality, what should we be eating instead? What's good for our health is also good for our sleep. Foods that help support our sleep are no different than foods that support our general health. A diet rich in organic nuts, seeds, legumes, fruits, vegetables, wild seafood, grass-fed animal protein, and whole grains supports a healthy body. Eating real food, real slow, is an excellent way to remember what and how you should be eating. An easy way to distinguish real food from fake food is remembering this little saying: good food goes bad. Food is not meant to last for months and years. Real food is minimally processed, if at all. It's fresh and free of preservatives and chemical additives. This usually means eating local and organic food. Consume food that is free of all the dangerous conventional farming practices and is as close to where it was farmed as possible. High-quality food that's wild and organic fuels a healthy body and mind, boosts the immune system, and is usually much lower in calories. High-quality foods include organic whole grains, preferably gluten-free grains like amaranth, brown rice, buckwheat, oats, and quinoa. organic fruits and vegetables, organic nuts, seeds, and beans, superfoods like spirulina and chlorella, responsibly farmed, wild, grass-fed organic animal products. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to a healthy diet. A term that Joshua Rosenthal, the founder of the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, the world's largest nutrition school, uses to describe this concept is bioindividuality. We are each unique, have different body and blood types, live in different locations, have different genetics, caloric needs, and lifestyles. So how could one diet work for us all? Interestingly, you may find that even eating particularly healthy food doesn't seem to work for your unique body. Figuring out what foods work for your body can be a difficult process. However, the more in tune and aware you become of how you feel based on the food you eat, the easier it is to determine what foods work best for you. By staying connected and aware of how your body responds to the foods you're consuming, both the healthy and the unhealthy foods, you'll be able to discover what works best for you. Learning to listen to your body is one of the most significant skills you can practice in supporting longevity and health. The most common food sensitivities are dairy products, gluten, soy, sugar, artificial sweeteners, eggs, corn, and peanuts. Be especially aware of how your body responds when eating these particular foods. Low energy levels, mental fog, and nasal congestion are all signs that you may be sensitive to a food or could have a compromised digestive system, also known as leaky gut. Choose to eat for sustained energy and pleasure. Often people have a misconception that to be vibrantly healthy, you need to only eat food that doesn't taste very good, and that all food that tastes amazing drains your energy. Going to either extreme isn't healthy. And truthfully, you can make performance foods, foods that fuel our energy, taste just as good, if not better, than the foods that drain our energy. A great food philosophy that is simple and works is the 80-20 to 90-10 philosophy. This simply means that 80% of the food you choose to eat is from healthy performance foods, and that the other 20% is from non-performance foods. Below is just a snapshot of some of my favorite high-performance foods. Herbs and spices like turmeric, garlic, and ginger, wild fish and seafood, salmon, sea bass, cod, steelhead, organic whole eggs, grass-fed meats and organic chicken, organically grown grains like brown rice, buckwheat, and quinoa, beans like black beans, pinto beans, navy beans, chickpeas, and great northern beans, nuts like almond, cashew, and walnuts, seeds like flax, chia, hemp, and sunflower, vegetables, spinach, kale, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, carrots, beets, peas, and squash, fruits, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, peaches, grapefruits, pomegranates, and blackberries. Several foods have been shown to support quality sleep because of their unique properties. For example, tart cherry juice contains naturally occurring melatonin. Kiwi fruit is packed with the sleep-promoting nutrients serotonin and folate. Researchers at Taiwan's Taipei Medical University studied the effects of kiwi consumption on sleep. They found that eating kiwi daily was linked to substantial improvements in both sleep quality and quantity. Salmon and fatty fish help regulate serotonin, pumpkin seeds relax the muscles, and hummus is high in tryptophan, which helps us feel sleepy. Additionally, almonds, walnuts, and turkey have also been shown to help induce sleep at night. Green vegetables from both land and sea are the most potent health foods on the planet. Although they support our sleep, unfortunately, they are the least consumed. They are the most anti-inflammatory of all foods and often contain the most nutrients from any food group. They are also loaded with chlorophyll, which is the lifeblood of plants and provides blood purifying and energizing properties when consumed. Chlorophyll helps support our red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout the body. Oxygen is essential to energy. Green foods also contain high amounts of calcium, magnesium, and potassium, all of which are necessary minerals for high-quality sleep. Not surprisingly, most people are deficient in these essential minerals. Many studies have shown a correlation between consuming greens and the protection against major chronic diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. This could be linked to the sleep enhancing benefits of these power packed foods. Green foods include leafy greens, kale, spinach, bok choy, Swiss chard, collard greens, mustard greens, lettuce, arugula, and machi. Broccoli, peas, green beans, Brussels sprouts, and asparagus. Wheatgrass and barley grass, parsley, basil, and cilantro. Sea vegetables, kelp, Irish moss, kombu, dulse, nori, and arami. Algae, spirulina, and chlorella. All the foods above are ultra energy and performance enhancing and can be found at a natural grocer. Try this sleep experiment. Eat a massive salad every day for lunch or dinner. One of the quickest and easiest ways to get more greens into your diet is by starting the day with a green superfood smoothie or supplementing with a whole food greens powder. There is no better way to start the day than with a green smoothie or juice. Another excellent energy option is to replace your afternoon coffee with a green juice.